Roz and Big Vinny B.
It is the Brian Vinny Show, February 12, 2019. Figure4online.com/wrestlingobserver.com. No Craig here tonight. And yes, no Vinny here tonight. Instead, because of the horrible snow here in Seattle, we're joined by another man also snowed in, Lance Storm, who didn't make the show here tonight. Despite much colder temperatures, and maybe, actually, there's no way you got more snow. It's impossible.
We've got a fair bit of snow, but we're used to it up here.
You don't got 20 inches.
No, I don't have that, but we do have probably the snowbanks where I've shoveled my driveway are a foot deep. But yeah, it's
snowbanks.
It's colder than normal here,
I got more than that on top of my car right now. 13 inches on top of my car. 20 inches in Bothell.
Yeah, there's no way you're used to dealing with 13 inches.
You kidding me? Are you out of your mind, Lance? You crazy? All right, we got the Retro Show here today. Retro Rod Nitro, 19 years ago this week. Did you really watch Nitro twice, and why?
Well, I always get a jump start because my weekends often are busy, so I usually start watching the Retro Nitro Show about Thursday. Because I always start with Nitro, because if I can't get it in, I don't mind skipping Raw because we didn't start at number 1. But I have not missed a Nitro, so I watched it Thursday and Friday. And then I caught, Raw, I think, Sunday and Monday. So when I realized I was doing the show, I'm like, I'm not going to have real sharp memories on this. So I didn't watch it all. Like once I got a gist of the segment, it's like I'd hit that 30 seconds ahead button on my iPad. So I probably watched the second time in a little over an hour. But I needed to refresh my memory, and I made some notes for Nitro. I didn't take notes for Raw because, again, I only watched it yesterday, so I should be able to remember it pretty tight. And boy, was... This may be the biggest discrepancy on good show to bad show in the 4 years we've been doing this.
No, last week. Yeah, last week's Raw was better. This week's Raw was there. I don't know if I could call this like a great Raw. Nitro was terrible, but Nitro was terrible last week too. So I think last week was the biggest discrepancy between a great show and a bad show that we've seen in quite a while. This show was this Nitro was horrible. This Raw was okay, but it was weird. I still cannot wrap my head around you watching Nitro twice. Jesus. And it was fucking 3 hours.
Oh, it was, I don't know why. They never said why.
You know why? Because it fucking snowed in Bothell.
Just
because it dumped 20 fucking inches here. I swear to God, for a lot of reasons, between last Saturday and today, had to have been the worst 10 days of my life. Fucking terrible. And just when you think it can't get any worse, it dumps another foot of snow on Tuesday night or Monday night. They're talking about it may dump snow, but it could rain. Of course it doesn't rain. It fucking dumps 10 fucking inches of fucking snow. So I'm so furious, okay? I'm just furious. I walk my ass in here this morning, and I turn on that fucking Nitro, and it's 3 hours.
Yep. So should you text Granny now, or should I to let her know not to listen to this show?
3 hours. Are you kidding me?
And at least 2 of those hours were Jeff Jarrett promos.
I was so angry. I was filled with such fury. And then it wasn't even a good show. Although, it had Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair. Randomly. We'll get to that. Monday Night Raw, as Vinny would say. Sorry for the DX and the Radicals coming out. Steph's getting the cheapest kind of bullshit cheap heat. Just telling the fans to shut up, screeching louder and louder. So they have footage of Kane grabbing Tori by the neck on SmackDown. The fans cheer, and so he gives her a tombstone. So she's out there this week in a neck brace. And Stephanie blames the fans. Says, this made me sick. Holding each and every one of you responsible. Did I ever mention how much I hate the term each and every one of you?
It's on every show.
It fucking permeates this business. I New Japan. When Jay White won the IWGP title, and he dropped the each and every one of you. I was like, dude, I can't take this anymore. So Hunter says no more kindness, no more weakness. Signs a bunch of matches. It's going to be Grandmaster versus the Road Dogg, Scotty 2 Hotty versus Billy Gunn. Speaking of ass, he says, Saturday Malenko will face Rikishi handicap match. Rock versus Chris Benoit. He cuts a promo on Kane, calling him a burned freak with sexual inadequacies. And by the way, they're portraying Tori as a heel with a fake injury, even though in storyline she took a real tombstone and fucked up her neck. Signs Kane versus X-Pac, but the match will only take place if Kane can defeat Hunter and a partner of his choosing in a no DQ handicap match later on tonight. And then all the babyfaces come down, there's a big mini battle royal, and that's the opening segment.
Yeah, you missed what I thought was a real important thing at the beginning. The radicals come out. They come out first. There's a decent reaction to them. It looks like they're about to say something, and then Hunter's music hits. And he comes down, and there's a moment where you can tell that all of DX stands in front of all the radicals. Hunter even waits until it was either Road Dogg or Billy Gunn gets to the other turnbuckle, and it's like all four of them stand in front and block the camera shot of the new radicals before they get the hard camera shot and the pyro. And it was like, wow, this is a put people in their place moment.
We had Devon versus Edge versus Jeff Hardy. Winner gets a tag title match for their team at the pay-per-view. So Bubba tries to get involved. Matt and Christian give him a suplex outside. Edge goes for a pin. Jeff throws him over the top. Twist of fate. Senton. Edge breaks it up. Go back and forth for a while, and long story short, Devon pins Edge after Edge tries to spear and hits Jeff. So the Dudleys get a shot at the New Age Outlaws at the pay-per-view. It was a fine match, I guess. Short.
Yeah, but unfortunately it was 2-on-1 advantage babyfaces, and the babyfaces couldn't get along, leading to the heel getting the win.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the story was the babyfaces can't get along because only one of them is going to get a tag title match for their team. I've seen this done worse. At least
absolutely.
this, it was every man for himself. This was like a Royal Rumble. So we had a show-long storyline, which was very weird. Because this show took place on February 14, 2000. Valentine's Day. So Mark Henry and Mae Young are going to celebrate Valentine's Day. So, long story short, we'll go over all the segments individually, but at the end of the day, they get a very, very nice room. They enjoy each other's company, so to speak. They exchange gifts, and they express their love for each other. And because it's Mark Henry and Mae Young, we're like supposed to be appalled, and like Jerry Lawler vomits in his crown. He's just disgusted. But I was watching it thinking, this is very sweet. You know what I'm saying?
It really is a different time.
There was no swerve. There was no humiliation. There was a man and a woman who were in love with each other, and they found the time to enjoy a very, very nice Valentine's Day. And I was supposed to be disgusted. I mean, I wouldn't want to spend my Valentine's Day with Mae Young, personally. But I mean, Mark seemed to enjoy it. She seemed to enjoy it. So, like, I thought it was great.
Well, I think it's telling of Raw today that there's so few happy segments anymore. Just the fact that Mark and Mae are happy, it's like, that was a great segment. I'm happy for them.
I was so happy. They go to the hotel. The guy at the front desk is appalled. This fucker should be fired. Very judgmental. Mark Henry wants a room, and then he decides, God damn, it's Valentine's Day. Let's get a honeymoon suite. And he pays his money. They get their key. Mark is so excited. Mae Young is so happy, and up they go. That's it. Yep, that was a segment. We had Road Dogg and Brian Christopher. No heat for this match. Multiple chin locks by the Road Dogg. And Christopher makes a comeback, misses a leg drop. Dogg gets a pump handle slam, gets the pin. It was a match. It was fine. It was better than something shitty.
at least in the grand scheme of things, made sense. The heels didn't like the baby faces, so we had a bunch of matches with them fighting each other.
So then they go back to Mark Henry and Mae Young. Mark Henry and Mae Young, they're going into their hotel room. Mark is about to walk in, but then he stops. I must carry my woman over the threshold. Oh, she's giddy. He lifts her up in his big, strong, powerful arms, and he carries her over the threshold into the room. The door shuts. Then the door opens, and he remembers his bag is out there. He brings that in.
I was actually wondering if he'd leave it there. I really was.
Well, it was left there, and I thought, oh, man, like, you know, Randy Orton's going to debut. He's going to shit in that bag or something like that. That's going to be like the payoff where someone's going to be sad at the end. But you know what happens? Nothing. He brings a damn thing into the room, and everybody's happy. And still I waited.
Waiting for someone to shit in the bag.
Something. Like something's got to go wrong, you think. Because you watch Raw in 2019. We had Godfather and D'Lo versus Head Cheese.
Oh, God.
So Godfather and D'Lo are coming out with all the hoes. And there's one hoe in purple. She was something special. So they go down to the ring, and they cut backstage. Al Snow and Steve Blackman are doing Al Snow's version of terribly unfunny comedy. Go down to the ring. Sure as shit, Al Snow sees the hoe in the purple. And he decides she is very special. And he starts dancing with her. And Steve Blackman is distracted. And Steve Blackman is in. All I could think was, why is this fucking moron Steve Blackman teaming with his other moron? You know what I'm saying? Why is he doing this? He doesn't like Al Snow. They don't get along. He hates the guy and all of his ideas. They don't even win. Why is Steve Blackman teaming with this guy?
Who's forcing them to team? It should surprise no one. I relate to Steve Blackman, and he's the sympathetic guy in this for me.
Don't even say that I'm Al Snow. That's fighting words.
I want to ask you the question, because the comparison was made when we did it. When Dustin and I were a tag, did you enjoy Dustin and I or Head Cheese better?
Dustin?
Gold Dust and I, when we did the...
that's right. Yeah. You guys were way better.
Because that's the way it pitched to me, that when they put us together, they're like, if it seems funny and you're good, you'll stay babyface and you'll be the modern-day version of Head Cheese, and if it doesn't go well, we'll turn you heel on him. I'm like,
but you're a better Steve Blackman, and Dustin is a funnier Al Snow.
yes.
So, there you go.
Although if you want I don't know if it's on YouTube or not, there was a show on Confidential where the premise was, and it was a shoot, there was 10 questions, and there would be a person asking the other person 10 questions. No one knew what the questions were. You had one take, live to tape, and you had to stay in character.
Why isn't this on the WWE Network?
I don't know, but we did it, and I was asking Al Snow the questions when Goldust and I were the comedy team. And Goldust was the director that would come in every once in a while to try to make me more exciting as I asked questions to Al Snow. And it was the funniest goddamn thing you ever saw. It was so funny. If anybody can find it on YouTube or anywhere, share it. It was so damn funny.
Someone's got to have it on tape somewhere. So Mark Henry and Mae Young are in the room, and they both decide, let's go slip into something more comfortable. And they both go to get changed. I thought, man, who's in the bathroom? Who's under the damn covers?
Just waiting for the swerve.
I'm just fucking waiting. There's no way I thought that a Valentine's Day gimmick with Mark Henry and Mae Young could possibly turn out just full of love. Kurt Angle comes out for a promo. He's now the European champion. Economy is up. Suicide rates down in Europe. Tourism up. U.S. depression rates are up, though. That's because Jericho won the Intercontinental title. It is his duty as an American hero to do the same for America that he has graciously done for Europe. He wants Y2J and No Way Out for the Intercontinental title. But he wants Jericho tonight. Jericho isn't there. They show clips of China on The Tonight Show in a very tight, breast-exposing outfit. He says, I was once on The Tonight Show after I won an Olympic medal. I had self-respect. I didn't go out there in a tight leather outfit. Starts ranting about the three eyes. Jericho interrupts. So, Jericho buries Kurt and says, he calls him a Special Olympic jackass. He says, I don't know if I want to give you a shot at No Way Out, but I want to give you a beating tonight. So, to recap, Kurt Angle wants to beat up Chris Jericho tonight. Chris Jericho wants to beat up Kurt Angle tonight. They both go down to beat each other up. Geeks come out and break it up. Where were they earlier? Both men threaten to fight the other man. And then when they finally do it, and they both want to, Geeks come down and break it up. Then China came down and DDT'd Angle outside.
Well, that's what we're told. I didn't see it.
We did see some movement.
There was some movement. She had weird shorts on.
I didn't notice.
Well, they had shorts where she had, a couple inches of butt cheek hanging out. But then there was sort of some trim to her shorts that hung down to the bottom of her ass cheeks. So there was just these little loops hanging down that highlighted her ass cheeks for some reason.
Interesting. What a drop that'll be. Lance repeatedly saying ass cheeks.
There you go.
Mark Henry is waiting for Mae Young. Somebody move their phone. Yeah, thank you. It's Rob's phone. Yes, Rob.
Sorry, I was looking for the picture of China's outfit from the Tonight Show
I
for
see.
research purposes.
A pervert.
Research purposes.
Disgusted. Love how even when Rob's doing a good job, his phone fucks show up. You know what I'm saying? Mark Henry's waiting for Mae Young. She comes out in negligee. Jumps under the covers with him. Yes, Rob!
Sorry, I just wanted to say I will not be looking that up for research purposes.
Thank you. So she's so excited jumping under the covers with this guy. He's so happy. This is where Lawler almost barfs. I was like, dude, come on. Have some romance in your life, Lawler.
And really, in all honesty, is there a bigger age discrepancy here than in most of Lawler's relationships?
Oh! Please, Lance. Please. Chris Benoit, I would have to do the math, actually.
Maybe not. I don't know. How old was Mark here?
He's probably 30, actually. Let's find out. She was 76.
Yeah, that might be a bit tough.
Mark Henry was born in 71, so he would have been 29. I think.
Okay, this is a bigger one.
This is a bigger discrepancy, yes. But they're in love, Lance. And they're
They
both
are.
very much of legal age. He's nearly 30,
Consenting adults.
and she is 76. They are consenting adults. Benoit versus The Rock. So, I don't know if you guys noticed this, everybody. Some After Dark here. There was a fucking time traveler in the crowd. Did you notice this, Lance?
No.
In the first or second row, directly opposite the hard camera, somebody held up a giant sign that read, "The People's Ballers." 16 years later, The Rock starred and produced Ballers on HBO. That was really weird.
I wonder what he meant.
They had a fun match. Rock had to win with the DDT, which was odd. Guerrero took the ref. Benoit with the crossface on the Rock. Rock gets the ropes. Benoit's angry. Rock gets Samoan drop. They brawl outside. Big Show runs down. He attacks the Rock with a shove. He puts his hands on his face and
The hand
pushes him.
shove.
And then Benoit's a German with a bridge. The fucking referee, I don't even know where he was
Takes
at.
forever.
Dude, he's outside on the floor. Benoit is in a full bridge on his head with a 250-pound dude doing a German suplex. You see Benoit looking around for the fucking referee
So
like a
Rock.
shoot. Where the fuck are you? Finally, the ref slides in, counts the pin. Chris Benoit has pinned The Rock. So Show and the Radicals destroy The Rock. Big Show's there is noted. I forget every week he's employed. And not only that, he's feuding with The Rock. But it hit me that Big Show, somebody should go back. Everybody goes back and they track like how many times the Big Show turned heel and babyface. Somebody find out how many years Big Show was a monster to be overcome on the road to WrestleMania. It had to have been like 9 years. Here he was again. A roadblock on The Rock's way to WrestleMania. Just like he was for Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and all these other guys over the years.
Well, Vince likes guys to beat a giant to head to WrestleMania.
Mark Henry's in the room. They've enjoyed each other's company. He says, "Damn, I almost forgot your present." And he reaches into the drawer where one might find the Gideon Bible. And inside is a box of chocolates. He feeds her a chocolate. She says, "Oh, Mark, I've got a surprise for you too." She goes over there and unveils edible undies. He's so excited. She puts them on, she jumps in bed. They're having the time of their lives. That was the end. That was the payoff. They went to town again.
No Harvey Whippleman.
No Harvey. No Swerve. No Orton. Nothing. They just enjoyed a Valentine together. And Mae Young is so charismatic. I love her. Mr. Ass and Scotty Too Hottie. This stupid fucking thing. Ass beats him up. Goes for a stinger splash. Christopher punches him on the way in. Scotty falls on top, gets the pin.
And a really odd pin at that.
Yes. Place goes nuts. It actually looked like Mark Henry and Mae Young under the covers. Place goes crazy. And then Billy beats his ass, tosses him outside like a geek, and they play Billy's music. Why the fuck did they bother? It did nothing for Billy. It did jack shit. It could have done something for Scotty, because the people popped when he won, but then they put him back in his place. This was stupid.
Yeah, it's the 2-week elevation. Well, maybe that goes longer, but yeah, it was the Too Cool crew get to step up as a main event last week, but remind you that they're not quite main event.
Kevin Kelly says, "We'll talk to The Rock next." They come back. It is Crash Holly versus Essa Rios. No Rock. So, somewhere, Essa Rios won the light heavyweight title from Gilbert.
I don't remember either of these two being on television in forever.
No, they just appeared out of nowhere.
Is this like the debut of Lita?
I feel like she was there as a hoe.
Well, yeah, but
as a character, yes. So she's the star of the act, diving Hurricane Rana off the steps, big pop. Rios boots him, big moonsault gets the pin, then Lita hits a big moonsault, then the people cheer, and Bob on commentary howls. He's disgusted that a super heavyweight was just beaten by a woman. So they go back to Kelly. Coming up next, The Rock. Go to commercial, come back. Bob's in the ring yelling at Crash. He says, "I know you've got a problem with women. It's a good thing you have that right hand, because you're not getting anything from any women. Get out of this ring, I'll show you how Hardcore Holly kicks some ass." Hardcore Holly's opponent is Taz.
Yep.
They have just the most nothing happening match. Bob gets the heat. He beats Taz's ass. Taz makes a comeback, goes for the Taz mission. Crash runs in for the disqualification. Are you kidding me? So then Taz suplexes Crash. He's out of the ring. This did jack shit for anybody.
Yeah, to me this really, again, maybe it was by design, but it's like, to me it really sort of exposed Taz. It's like, when he can be Taz, he's great, but it's like, this was go there and have a 5-minute match and just go back and forth, and it was like, there was just nothing here.
So then we had 2 handicap matches in a row, Lance. Are you aware of that? We had Saturn and Malenko versus Rikishi, and the main event was Hunter and the Big Show versus Kane. For some reason, in the first handicap match, all 3 men were in the ring at the same time. They're trying to double team Rikishi. He's actually making them look like geeks. He beats both their asses. And finally, he hits the Rikishi driver on Malenko. He hits the belly-to-belly on Saturn. Goes for his move, but out comes Eddie Guerrero. He whacks him with a gimmick for the DQ. Another shit DQ. Heels destroy Rikishi's ankle. Nobody cares. And Too Cool runs down to make the save. So I bring that up because in the next match, it is a handicap match. But in that match, Hunter and the Big Show politely stand on the apron waiting to tag the other in. Why did they do that?
It's WWE. They apply the rules they want to at the time.
It's even more astounding because a chair gets involved, and it's made clear there are no DQs in this match. So why were they standing on the apron waiting for a tag? So they just waste time. They're just wasting time to get to the end of the 2 hours. And finally, Hunter brings the chair to the ring. Go to Pedigree, Kane. Rock hits the ring. I swear to God this happened. Rock runs down. He sprints down the aisle. He slides in the ring to make the save for Kane. Big Show grabs him and chokeslams him like the biggest geek. So, another example, by the way, The Rock was great. So, you could do this and The Rock would still be over. But
This is after the match he got pinned in, too.
yeah, they don't get it, so they kept doing this for everybody. And we got a generation of fucking geeks. And no more Rocks. So anyway, they chokeslam him, he's a geek. And then Cactus runs down. X-Pac runs down. Cactus starts running wild on everybody. Runs over Tori, hits the ring. Kane and the Big Show are doing these wretched spots in the ring. Rock hits the Big Show with a chair. Kane hits the big choke slam. And the match was still going. So the ref comes in and counts the pin.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah! There's no DQs. So they did a full post-match angle while the match was still going on. They do the pin, and then they do the exact same angle again. They start beating up all the good guys. Cactus makes another comeback. And he runs wild on everybody. And that's the end of the show. So, for the record, by the way, besides everything they do with The Rock earlier, The Rock is facing the Big Show at the next pay-per-view. So they're setting it up where it's one loser against another loser to determine which guy is less of a loser. And if you recall, we had a decade of that afterwards. And do you know how many people got over in the mid-2000s doing the angle where you beat both guys leading into a pay-per-view to see which guy is least loser, I don't even know what you would call it. It's not even the biggest loser. It's like, I guess it is the biggest loser. Anyway.
No, it's determined
Who is less of a geek?
Yes, it's
You have two geeks facing each other.
the lesser of two evils, so to speak.
Yeah, to determine the king of the geeks.
Well, no, because the guy that loses to the other loser is the biggest loser.
That's true. He's the biggest geek. Anyway. Yeah, so this is where it all started, everybody. And what we bitched about for years and years. 50-50 booking, both guys leading to a pay-per-view, beat a guy like a drum, and he still gets over. It was all because of The Rock.
The Rock wasn't so goddamn charismatic.
No, he ruined this business. He didn't even mean to. He ruined the business by being great.
Yeah. Although at least the babyfaces stood strong at the end, and to me, that's the biggest thing missing today. We go off the air with people being miserable way too often.
Yeah, every single show.
Yep.
Every single show. Well, I didn't write down the finishes, did you?
Nope.
Well, it's not the same without Vinny anyway.
Yeah, there was a couple clean ones, a bunch of DQs, and a bunch of other bullshit.
All right, let's just play the music anyway. What do you think about that?
There we go.
The finishes on this show were... I can try and make them up.
Yep. Clean pin.
Let's see.
Distraction into a pin.
Yep.
DQ.
Sure.
And some other bullshit.
Guy didn't get over. Okay. Perfect. Fine job, Vinny. Yes? Yes, Rob.
So you forgot to add a fuck finish in there somewhere.
They're all fuck finishes at the end of the day. But that brings us to Nitro.
Actually, that was the finish to the Mark Henry segment.
It was. That was a true fuck finish. You're right, Lance. God damn. I knew I had you here for a reason.
That was the Craig segment for tonight.
Yes, except he wouldn't have said it like that. I guess he would have. He could have said that. I said the fuck finish. He just had to say that once again. All right, Nitro. A horrible show. Starts out with a million recaps from the past week.
What was with that? They did a full recap segment, then they did the show open, and then they did another, almost exactly but different recap segment.
You know, here's the thing. Here's the problem with this business, everybody. I bitch about things, and then when I'm given what I think I want, I realize I'm bitching about everything. And I don't even mean to. Like, you can't do a show without recaps, okay? But they recapped everything 2 times. And in recap, I still have no idea what's going on. Here's what happened. We missed one show, Thunder. We didn't even miss a Nitro, okay? On this one Thunder, and if you've been listening to all of these retro shows, you're going to be baffled by what you're hearing right now. On the one Thunder that we missed, we had matches to determine title matches. We had Dustin Rhodes returning. We had Dustin Rhodes challenging Ric Flair, who is not facing Dustin Rhodes. He's facing Terry Funk. We had the return of Hulk Hogan. We have Hulk Hogan setting up a match with Luger. We have Luger beating up Terry Funk. This show was mind-blowing. It was like I missed a year.
Yeah, it was nuts. But we got the 2 recap segments, and then we had Jeff Jarrett come out and explain it all to us again.
Yes. Jarrett comes down with multiple large-breasted women, 2 men who used to play penises. One blonde is Major Guns. I have no idea who the other one was.
Pamela Polshock.
Oh, was it?
Yep.
Yeah, she was very beautiful. Harris Brothers and Jarrett pay-per-view. Jarrett's ranting about how he lost his special referee, how Scott Hall got a title shot, but he prevented that. Kevin Nash tried to knock him out of the #1 contender spot. Apparently Hall and Nash are just baby faces again. Clearly we missed that on Thunder in the recap. And he says the countdown is on to him winning the title at Super Brawl. Then they cut to Nash, who has not been on TV forever. He is there with 2 large-breasted nurses. These are brunettes. Jarrett calls him slap ass. Says, here's what we're going to do. Nash is trying to stop him, and so Jarrett threatens to break Dave Penzer's neck if they don't cut Nash's feet off. Nash does not care about Dave Penzer's neck, but the truck does. They cut him off. Jarrett claims that means he's now the acting commissioner. I'm not making any of this up. Nash then comes out in his wheelchair. They tell us he broke his foot 2 weeks ago. What? Nash threatens to shove his baseball bat up Jarrett's ass. He says nobody won the Hall versus Jarrett match. They're both #1 contenders. It'll be a 3-way dance at the pay-per-view. Sid versus Hall versus Jarrett. Jarrett says, I don't care. I'm walking out champion at Super Brawl. And then Nash signs Sid versus Jarrett tonight in a non-title match.
Yep.
A lot happened there.
Is Russo back?
He's not.
Because this had a lot of Russo-esqueness to it. Like, every segment's got the large-breasted women in them. And there's a lot of walking backstage that doesn't need to. I think I counted once. I was DMing with Craig. And there's somewhere between 16 and 17 women eye candy just standing there to be pretty people in this show.
They're desperately trying to get ratings.
And they did mention on commentary that the new Nitro girls are back. But they must have just been in the commercial segments because they didn't actually see any Nitro Girl dancing.
So then we had something weird. Tony Schiavone starts plugging the show. I like that. Tell us what's on the show tonight. He runs down all the matches. Then he says, tonight is Valentine's Day, and we'll have something very special for all the gentlemen out there. Flair, Luger, and Liz arrive. 3-count practice.
Did you notice that Flair and Liz were like wearing winter jackets because they're in New York in February, and Luger's got a sleeveless t-shirt on?
Because he's the man.
He's jacked.
Norman talks to Lenny and Lodi backstage. Lenny's on the phone talking to rats. Lodi wants to go to the club. So we have 3-count. Oh, first we had Miss Hancock walking.
Yeah, we had the 3-count practicing first, though.
Yes, I had that. Probably missed it in the 45 segments I ran down there.
Yeah. And we're 22 minutes in. We're just getting to the first match. So the first half hour of Nitro, and we're just getting to the ring.
3-count versus Norman Smiley and Lenny Lane.
He's just Lane now, though. They've lost their first names.
Yes. So Tony had been plugging all the matches on the show earlier. We get the first match. He has no idea what's going on. He admits that. I don't know what's going on here, he says.
Neither did anyone in the match.
So they're having this match, and Miss Hancock gets up on the table. She hikes up her skirt. Don't even think about it, Rob. Takes off her glasses. She starts dancing.
She lets her hair down.
Yes.
Because she's not squaring up. She's dancing.
So she's dancing. Tony turns. He looks right at the camera to his wife at home and says, I'm not watching.
Yeah, because she's standing almost right over him.
He's fucked one way or the other, dude. Everyone's distracted. Norman taps out Evan with a choke. This was hilarious, okay? The referee is distracted by Miss Hancock. And so Norman has Evan in a choke. Evan is furiously tapping. He is nearly killed because the referee's not paying attention because he's watching Miss Hancock. So
you were way too nice with this match. They opened up with like a series of 5 dives, and like half of them weren't caught. Lane.
I didn't even talk about the match, but go ahead.
Yeah, Lane tries to do a flip dive to the floor and just doesn't make his target and bumps on the floor and damn near kills himself. Shannon misses a acai moonsault off the top rope and crashes into the floor. It's like 10 seconds into the match, there's like 5 dives, half of them botch, and then they just go about having their match. And Miss Hancock is dancing for quite a while before anybody notices. It's like they had a couple spots to do, so they kept wrestling. And she's dancing and she's dancing. They're just having spots. And then eventually they notice. And this was just bad.
They had her music playing. You know what I
They
mean?
had spots to do.
Dude. Then they come backstage, and all I know is Ming is there, and he's watching TV, and he starts screaming, "And I'm not! And I'm not!" Apparently he's upset that they're calling Tank Abbott a legitimate tough guy. Ming is upset. I believe he's saying, "And I'm not." Okay?
Okay.
Who the fuck was he talking to? It appeared to be the Barbarian who cut off all of his hair and bleached it blonde. Was I wrong? Who was that?
I don't remember. This was one of the, I must have hit the 30-second ahead because I didn't see it the second time, but I'm remembering it. Actually, I think it might have been like Al Green or somebody.
Maybe it was. But anyway, this led to nothing.
No.
Didn't they already have a match in Tank 1 or something?
I think so.
I don't remember. Who cares? Tank Abbott faced Rick Fuller, one-punch knockout.
Just awful.
It was quick.
Still, it was no good.
So they go to Tenay. He's interviewing Tank Abbott. I thought this was awesome. He says, "Tell us about your memories of the UFC, Tank." Tank goes, "I was the only true fighter. I'd fight anybody, anytime. My only goal was to put my opponents in the hospital. I don't care if I won or lost. When the fight was over, my opponent was in the hospital, I was at the bar." Which actually was true most of the time.
It was most of his pro wrestling matches, too.
Talks about how he can bench 625. He spent years boxing. Today asked him about Big Al. Tank says, "Yeah, Big Al used to watch my back. Now he has problems with me being in WCW. He wants to be in a skins match with me," he says. Today goes, "What's a skins match?" And Tank points to his leather jacket and he goes, "It's my skin. I once said I'd give him the skin off my back. Now he's turned on me. We're gonna take care of business at Super Brawl." Tanay goes, "What's a skins match consist of?" Fucking Tank Abbott goes, "It's a jacket on a pole match."
You sure Russo's
Are
not
you
that?
kidding me? Now, I love the interview. And it was funny because, like, in 1999, the idea of Tank Abbott as champion was preposterous. Death of WCW material. 2019, he'd have been fine. You know what I mean? He wasn't a great worker, but, like, he was a fine promo. He was a tough guy. He'd go in there and punch out people in a minute. I mean, fuck, they had worse champions than him in the last decade. I can tell you that much.
They had worse champions than him then.
Hell yeah, well, Jarrett's about to get it. Although at least Jarrett could throw up, I think, a good punch. He's not your favorite punch, right?
I was talking David Arquette and the others.
Oh, well, yeah.
Russo.
Yeah. Jarrett's on the phone. Said, "Better be a title match tonight." Prince Iakea shows up with Paisley.
He's the artist.
Paisley!
Yes.
Booker's future wife, by the way. They weren't married yet. So, Iakea cuts this fucking horrible promo. Even though Paisley is actually, like my Paisley, I might add, a much better promo than Prince Iakea. I don't know why he was doing all the talking. So we have, I swear to God, Kidman and Vampiro versus Prince Iakea, the artist formerly known as Prince Iakea, and La Parka. This is the kind of thing that I miss about WCW. They put anybody in the ring together.
It didn't matter.
No! Someone in the back looked at everyone in the locker room and thought, "Kidman, you and Vamp are gonna face the Prince and La Parka. Huh. Work it out, guys." So they have this match.
Oh, just rotten.
It was fucking horrible, but I loved it. And Paisley and Tori get into a brawl.
For no reason.
Yep. And then Iakea hits a diving DDT on Kidman and gets the pin. The
Well,
Prince pinned Kidman.
You're missing the angle.
There's an angle.
When the women were fighting for no reason, Kidman jumped down to break them up, and Vamp reached for a tag and he wasn't there. And then he fought for like 2 more seconds and then bumped them both, and then he went over and Kidman was on the apron now, so he tagged Kidman all pissed off, and Vamp walked out. Because he was mad that Kidman wasn't there for the tag when he wanted him. And it was because Vamp walked out that Kidman got pinned. This match was setting up a Kidman-Vamp match.
Fucking A. All I know is, in the year 2000, I thought I must marry this Tori Wilson. And now here I am in 2019 watching her fight Paisley. Fucking weirdest thing. Terry Funk's getting taped up.
Whoa. Okay, maybe I missed that too. Okay, I thought you skipped the wedding.
No, are you kidding me? Nash is on the phone. He says, fine, if he wants to be a title match, it's a title match. Let him kill each other. Mama Luke's, they say, Disco, we want to go home. Want to go see Mom. We're in New York. Disco says, look, I arranged something for you. It's a wedding party with their family. Grandma.
Vito's sister was getting married and Vito didn't know.
It's news to him.
Yeah, because Italians don't do big things at weddings.
No, well, he's, the idea is he probably hasn't talked to the family in a while. He's probably on the run. You know what I'm saying? He's gone underground. Anyway, it's a very thoughtful thing for Disco to do.
To book his sister's wedding in the backstage of an arena?
Hey,
in a tent?
Maybe she wanted that. So Mona faces... Okay, so first off, Mona's in a gown. Why is she wrestling in a fucking gown?
She takes the gown off.
Kind of.
She's got like a cheerleader outfit afterwards.
Sort of. She's facing Rhonda Monster Ripper Singh, spelled S-I-N-G. No H.
They didn't add the H. Apparently she's not of Indian descent anymore.
Oklahoma interrupts. He says Medusa is a special guest referee. She's barely paying attention. Ron and Medusa get in an argument. Mona goes for the sunset flip. Oklahoma grabs the arms. Medusa kicks the hands. Singh hits Medusa in the middle of the spot. Singh on Mona after she got her hands kicked out. Oklahoma counts the pin. Singh kisses Oklahoma. Singh has Jericho's old music. This was bullshit.
This was...
Did I miss anything?
Yes. Mark Madden with the greatest line of the show. When Monster Ripper is in the ring, Mark Madden says, with all this talk about standards and practices, if she doesn't have any standards, I sure could use the practice.
Wow.
I'm like, that's tremendous.
Wow. He had a couple of good lines on this show. More with the Mama Lukes. I had no idea what was going on. I'm glad you told me it was a wedding party. I was just fucking baffled.
This is just, like, Vito just won't stop talking.
No.
It's like, it's a group shot, but he has to keep the camera and the focus on him. And he's hitting every stereotypical Italian thing. He's got to slip the minister some extra money. He's got to give his sister-in-law extra cash and just hide. And it's just like, oh my God.
Terry Funk walks. Luger and Liz walk. Gene is there with Ric Flair. They randomly announce right here in the middle of the fucking show, Ric Flair will face Hulk Hogan tonight. Okay. We haven't seen Hogan in months. Right?
Yeah. As far as I can remember. He's been mentioned the last week or two, but it'd be the first time we've seen him.
I guess I have to watch Thunder.
We're like 57 minutes in, not counting commercials, and this may have been the first decent thing on the show.
Luger versus Funk. So, Luger's out there posing, and he wants Liz to rip off his pants, but Funk gets in the ring, he rips off Luger's pants, and then punches him. I like that.
He tried to wedgie him by ripping his sweats off.
Funk is 54, he's still more mobile than Luger was, and Funk was not mobile. Finish has him going for a moonsault he was supposed to miss, but he hits it. Liz gives Luger a chair. That's a DQ. Her handing him a chair is a DQ. Luger starts hitting Funk in the head, unprotected chair shots. Keep in mind, Funk and Brett hitting each other with shit in the head led to Brett's permanent retirement from professional wrestling 1 month ago. And they're doing this.
And the funny thing is, the rest of the match, they worked absurdly light and didn't touch each other.
I know what's going on. Arn then confiscates the chair. Gene alerts us. Breaking news. Jeff Jarrett versus Sid will be for the title tonight, but not the heavyweight title. Jarrett's United States title. So this is what happens on paper, everybody. They'll tell you what happened in real life. Gene is supposed to make this announcement, and as he makes the announcement, the reaction of Kevin Nash and Sid, we're supposed to see, like, it happens at that moment, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So in real time, as soon as Gene makes this announcement, both these people react to it, okay? But it's a television show, and they don't use a split screen, which they should have done. Instead, Gene makes the announcement. They cut backstage to Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash pauses, then he reacts. He goes, ha ha ha! And the women put cream down his throat, whipped cream. Then they cut to Sid. Keep in mind that the announcement was made 15, 20 seconds ago. Sid's watching TV. And he watches TV for about 5 seconds, and then he goes, ha ha! He's so happy. Are they on a delay?
This was so bad, I didn't realize that that's what they were supposed to be reacting.
Yes, they were
I
reacting.
never know what the hell they were doing.
They were laughing about something that happened 15 seconds ago.
Where was the split screen from the World War III pay-per-view?
We needed it. Daphne caught the bouquet. I think that actually leads to something, so we'll see. Mark Madden. Oh, so they do the thing. She catches the bouquet. Like, all hell breaks loose. The cake ends up everywhere. Meanwhile, the Mamalukes music is just playing in a loop on the background. Something else happened. What else happened here? I don't remember.
I don't know. In my notes, I just said more wedding shit.
Okay, well, something happened. Something bad happened. So cake's everywhere. They go back to Mark Madden. Mark Madden says, I cannot imagine a cake got destroyed on a wrestling show. And Tony Schiavone Meltzer deadpan says, yes, you can. Stevie Ray and... Oh, my God. Stevie Ray and Big T versus Tony Mamaluke... the Mamalukes, actually.
Yes.
Versus David Flair and Crowbar.
With Disco on commentary.
Our main man, Vito, wrestles with his fucking championship belt around his waist. This match is horrific.
Oh, it's so bad.
Daphne is incessantly screaming outside, making it even worse. David hits Stevie with a crowbar, and Vito gets the pin. Disco on commentary is shocked that his men have retained the titles. They won, he said. He gets in the ring, and Disco Inferno is still with us, everybody. I don't know how.
Because Big T damn near killed him.
Fucking Stevie Ray. Guys, have you ever seen Stevie Ray? I'm sure he's a really nice guy.
Actually, he's a funny son of a bitch.
A funny son of a bitch. A bad wrestler. So they've decided, you know what we're going to give him for a finish? A fucking elevated pedigree.
Didn't he legit end Rick Martel's career
Yes,
with this?
he killed Rick Martel with this move. He's still doing it. So he lifts Disco Inferno up for an inverted pedigree. Inverted is not even the right word. It's like an angel wings. Okay? As he's going to do it, Big T grabs Disco's legs and stuff fucking pedigrees him onto his head. I was sure he was dead.
And if you people don't remember, Big T is like super fat Ahmed Johnson who wasn't all that safe when he was in shape.
No, he was horrible. He hurt everybody. He never apologized. I actually went on Twitter to make sure that Disco was still alive. I can confirm that he is. Then they grabbed one of the Mamalukes. I presume it had to be Johnny the Bull, because no way Big Vito was coming anywhere near this fucking one.
No, they did both of them.
Did they? All I know is Big T goes to give the Pearl River plunge to one of them and fucking falls on him.
No, he landed underneath them. Half. Oh.
One he fell on, one he went underneath.
Yeah, because he did the one guy where he looked like he lost his balance, collapsed, and landed underneath him a little bit. And then when he hooked the other dude, Stevie Ray decided he would try to help so the other guy didn't die as badly.
I'm not trying to make a joke here, okay, everybody? I'm just telling you the truth, all right? You guys know how Draws got paralyzed? D'Lo went for a running sit-out power bomb, and he slipped on the canvas, and they both fell down, and that was Draws, okay? This fucking thing that Big T was doing to people, like, they're lucky Like, that stuffed inverted pedigree that it did not look like Disco knew that stuffed part was coming. And then the Pearl River Plunge, which is a sit-out power bomb, which he fucked up on and fell forward and landed on the guy as they were landing. Like, why was this guy allowed in the ring?
Yeah, I don't know. It was bad.
That was brutal. Canyon's with 2 girls.
Gotta have more girls. And what was the title belt he had? Replica belt? It looked like a hybrid between the old AWA belt and the big gold belt. I'm like, what the hell Canyon doesn't have a title?
That's a good question. I don't have the answer to it. I wonder how much all these women were paid for tonight. Probably more than you made when you were there.
Actually, I got paid well in WCW.
Dude, they had 50 women on the show.
I got paid well in WCW.
Dustin Rhodes gets buried. And the Mamalukes are... fuck. So the Mamalukes got killed. And they stretchered him off. Okay?
And Vito's got to no-sell it.
They get backstage, and Vito just hops off the stretcher and says, we got to take care of business. Like, Disco and Johnny, even Johnny the Bull, who's greener than grass, even he's selling. Not Vito. He's 100%.
Did we need 10 Italian segments on this show?
No, we did not. Bam Bam Bigelow versus The Wall in a hardcore match. I believe it was our show last week where I said, why is The Wall getting a push? And I don't know who it was, but somebody said, Hogan's coming back. They must be building up an opponent for Hulk Hogan. Goddamn. I do remember when The Wall was on top of that building 3 miles away, and Hogan said, it's The Wall, brother! So I thought maybe they're right. Well, Wall comes out here, handicap match, they go 2 minutes, Bam Bam Bigelow beats him clean.
Yep.
Why were they pushing The Wall and then they just beat him? Then Brian Knobbs runs down. He has a cast on his broken arm. He beats the shit out of Bam Bam Bigelow. And then The Wall chokeslams Bigelow to get his heat back. Wretched.
Awful.
Gene with the Mamalukes.
Gotta have more Italians.
I will say, this was the best segment on the show. For the Mamalukes, at least. Because Big Vito cut a promo. And it was actually a pretty damn good promo. He's angry. He's upset with all those Fazanooks out there. That's a new one. Fazanooks. And he says, and I quote, you guys are dead. He wants an Italian stretcher match. I like this promo.
Yeah, Vito was a pretty strong promo, actually.
Canyon, Dustin Rhodes. I swear to God. Dustin Rhodes puts Canyon in the corner. He splays his legs wide. He rears back. He kicks him as hard as he can in the nuts, the Shattered Dreams kick. Canyon does not sell it.
Well, he sells it and stops.
It's so blatant that the announcers are literally asking on air, does he not have nuts? And then Dustin pins him.
Yeah, he hit the Shattered Dreams, and he sold it briefly, and then he, raked Dustin's eyes so that he could whip Dustin into the ropes, so Dustin could just cut him off and hit his finish.
Yes.
It's like, why didn't you just get kicked in the balls and take his finish?
I don't know. So
you didn't mention that the girls that were with him backstage were now in heart-shaped bikinis.
Oh, they were, yes. Thank you. Hulk Hogan promo, he's randomly back in the red and yellow. Booker T promo. So, if you remember, they have been overdubbing his music for weeks. Because I guess he had a Leave It to Beaver song. And he acknowledges here he has Leave It to Beaver music. So then, he comes out to face the Kiss Demon, and they play the Leave It to Beaver music. So I don't know why they edited it out off all the other shows. Booker beats the Kiss Demon in a squash.
Yeah, it was nothing.
But no.
This is the absurdity of WCW. It's like, this is a large company that does entrance music for all their talent. Clarence Mason owns Booker's music. They can't get him new music, so they give him Leave It to Beaver. Like, WCW as a company can't come up with any other music for Booker.
No. They can't give him Jericho's theme because they gave it to the Monster Ripper.
And then we get Flair Hogan.
Hogan and Flair. So they're in New York. Hogan is super over. Flair is super over. Hogan's a huge babyface. Flair's a huge heel. They were both in wrestling heaven.
The perfect opponents. This is probably probably every match you see of these two.
Yes.
But it's always great.
When they both pass on, they will do this match into eternity. They did every match they've ever had. Flair gives him a low blow right in front of the ref who does nothing because fucking Nick Patrick and he sucks. He looks right at him as they do it. Flair works over the knee. Hogan makes a comeback. Flair gets the gimmick, KOs him. Hart runs down. Flair punches him. Goes for the cover. Hogan kicks out, hulks up. Runs wild. Leg drop of doom. Luger hits the ring for the DQ. They double team Hogan. He makes his own comeback. Goes after Liz. She's pulled to safety. This was not a great match, but you know what? It was a professional wrestling match, and it was a lot of fun. I liked it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't think these two could have a bad match in this scenario. As
No. If you remember, in like 2010, they had a match where Hogan like blew out his hip running the ropes like 2 minutes in, and he was like, I don't know, 55, and Flair was 58 or whatever their ages were at the time, and they still had a decent match.
Yep. Hogan's posing and celebrating, and Luger comes back and hits him right in the head with the bat.
Yep.
Because we've got to just run in and jump them and let the babyface make a comeback, and then run in and jump them again.
So they stomped on the chair, and that was that. If you watch on Apple TV, by the way, the show ended here. There's a weird glitch.
Yeah, it was weird. On my iPad, when you get to the last 2 seconds of the show, a thing comes up on the bottom that says the next episode. You can hit to play it, or you can close it off. It came up here.
Yes.
And I closed it off, but then the show kept going.
So that happened to me like 5 times. I could not figure out how to watch the end of this show. I finally figured out how.
You shouldn't have tried.
Okay, so listen. If this happens to you, there have been about 3 Nitros this happened. If you're watching on Apple TV, and in the middle or near the end of the show, the screen comes up that says the next episode is going to start in 10 seconds. You have to scroll right to highlight that, then scroll back left to the show and click it, and the show will keep going. Otherwise, it just goes to the next show. It's very strange. Jeff Jarrett versus Sid. So there's good news and bad news. The good news is, I would wrestle Sid anytime. Bad news is, the match would suck. He's doing these punches in the corner.
You know, when
He could have punched an egg.
They don't even look like a punch.
He clubbers.
You know, at the beginning of this show, I mentioned, was there ever a bigger discrepancy on a good show to a bad show with Raw and Nitro? Has there ever been a match where the discrepancy in the quality of punch of the two people in a match has ever been greater?
Jarrett is throwing these unbelievable punches. Sid is throwing these unbelievable punches. Both unbelievable in totally different ways. They're not even touching each other. Now listen. Before anyone gets on me about being a hypocrite, listen. If you have a match with me, don't touch me. Do you understand? And I won't touch you. But we need to make an agreement that we will try to make it look like we're touching each other.
Yes,
You understand what
that's
I'm
the
saying?
important part.
That's the hard part, okay? There's 3 ways to work. You can beat the shit out of each other. That sucks. You can not touch each other, but make it look good. That's perfect. Or you could not touch each other, and it looks like you're not touching each other. That's what these guys did. They had the lightest match. Like, if Kevin Dunn would have got a hold of this match, it would have been just incessant camera switching the entire time. Like every split second, they'd be switching the cameras. So finally, yes, there is a ref bump.
One of the worst ref bumps.
Here's what happens. Sid goes for a power bomb, and the ref falls down. I don't even think he lifted him up.
The ref was standing so close beside Sid when he went for the power bomb that he got touched as he went to pick the guy up.
So the ref's down.
Apparently the ref didn't know what a power bomb was and didn't know he should get out of the way.
Jeff hits Sid with the lightest belt shot in history. Ref goes to count, Sid kicks out. Jeff beats up the ref. Sid puts Jeff Jarrett in the crossface. He's now a technical wizard. The Harrises hit the ring. Jeff gets the guitar. There's no heat for any of this. It's dead silent. Jarrett hits Sid with the guitar. Jeff gets the pin. Jeff retains the title, his title. Sid retains his title. It is a 3-way at the pay-per-view.
So actually the big swerve by WCW and Kevin Nash of making it for Jeff's title instead of Sid's actually screwed Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah. That's the idea. Because Jeff's a heel and Nash is a babyface. But I see what you mean.
No,
yes.
but they...
Yes. If it would have been for the world title.
They were doing it as a punishment, but it actually... Because they were like, oh, Sid can win his title, but it's like, Jeff was supposed to not want his title on the line, but it's like, should have been the other way.
One way or the other. Do you remember at the beginning of the show when Tony promised there would be a big surprise for all the gentlemen out there?
Maybe it was the girls in the heart bikinis?
I think that it was Stacy dancing on the desk, which in storyline, he didn't know was coming. I can't think of anything else. Unless they edited something else off the show.
Well,
I will say this, the normal 3-hour Nitros were 2 hours and 15 minutes on the network, and this one was only 2 hours.
Will be had at Churrascaria Plataforma on West 49th Street in Manhattan.
Say that again, Rob, in your Italian accent.
That was actually supposed to be Portuguese, but
Oh.
Churrascaria Plataforma.
That's not too bad. You speak Portuguese.
I do.
They should do better than that.
I try.
All right.
So it's $90 a person. For Manhattan, that's cheap.
I guess. I think Ed's trying to just get some money out of us, but go ahead.
Could be. So the address is 349. Shit.
Is there a website?
God damn it. There is not a website listed, but you can get all the information on the daily updates section of the Observer, front page of the Observer.
I see.
Okay. Also, luxury bus to MetLife Stadium for WrestleMania. It will depart from the Hilton Midtown, the site of WrestleCon, which is located at 1335 at the Avenue of Americas. Departure time is 4 p.m. and it will return from MetLife approximately 30 minutes after the main event. Times are subject to change, and the cost is $67 per person round trip.
Oh, round trip.
For all of you big spenders out there.
You know what Ed needs to do is just say, we're going to have a lunch at noon and a bus. And if you're going to WrestleMania, you want to be involved, the information's on the front page in every daily update. Is that it?
That's it.
All right, there you go. There you go. I'll plug Ed stuff. But he still irritates me. And he knows it. Makes things worse.
Hey, Lance.